Alright, so for those of you who are unaware, Faye's member NickMercs responded to a video. We got the Jake Lucky post right here, but we got the original one that it came from. So this is from Puckett. I guess he's an Overwatch League player from this tweet right here. So for those of you who don't know, there was a well, the tweet kind of sums it up. Anti-LGBT protesters attack pro-LGBT demonstrators outside of a Glensdale, California school board meeting. The school board is voting on recognizing June as Pride Month. That's all this is about. But I'm not going to show the full video because obviously it's full of violence. So a lot of people, especially the right-wing media, tried to paint this in a way of the anti-LGBT protesters being the parents of the students. Most of the parents of the students were on the pro-LGBT side. They were the ones who wanted this to happen. And by the way, this wasn't that much of a school board meeting. It was just saying hey, we should recognize this as Pride Month. We as a school should recognize June as Pride Month. That's it. It wasn't anything else outside of that, or that much of an update to the school guidelines concerning trans or LGBT or other LGBT members of the school. Just, hey, should we recognize this 1 month as Pride Month? A month where probably barely any students are in school anyways. They're probably just getting out. But these guys said no. And most of the anti-LGBT members are they're Proud Boys and shit like that. They're part of these right-wing militias that just go around and do this type of shit. Well, it broke out in a fight, and there was a huge fight about it, and this Overwatch League player said this happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live their own life. And Faye's NickMercs said they should leave the children alone. That's the real issue. A lot of the people who were against the whole notion of the school, they weren't even members of. They weren't parents of the kids who were in the school. Most of the parents of the kids who were attending the school were for, the vote, but it brought out into a fight. And NickMercs has this to say: basically, leave the children alone, which is. It's just recognizing that gay people and trans people exist. It has nothing to do with them indoctrinating children. It has everything to do with just recognizing that people exist. I don't know why these people have such a problem with it. Well, I do know. It's because they don't like gay people. It's because they don't like trans people. But if you have a problem with this, then shouldn't you have a problem with health class? Now, don't get me wrong, some people on the right do have a problem with health class and teaching sex to kids anyways, to perform safe sex. They do have a problem with that because they're weirdos. And they think that everyone should just kind of follow their guidelines instead of realizing that this is something that teenagers more than likely will take part in. If they have a problem with gay people and trans people, then you should have a problem with this too. I bet you were to ask them hey, do you have a problem with health class and teaching kids to be safe with sex? There would be more of them that would say, no, I don't have a problem with it, than yes. I feel if I asked NickMercs, hey, do you have a problem with that? I would be surprised if he generally didn't say no. Because I don't know. I don't know him personally, but I don't feel he would have a problem with that. But he came out with an excuse towards this, basically saying that that because he has a child, he would prefer it if he was the one who got to explain this to him. It's just you should leave it to the parents argument, which is just stupid. Oh, I'll bring it up to my child when I want to. But I don't think he's going to. I highly doubt that's what he plans on doing. I feel he just doesn't like gay people, doesn't like trans people. And because of this, he ended up getting his skin taken off from Call of Duty, which I don't really care. I don't really care about. But this set up a whole shitstorm. Here's the Jake Lucky post about it. I'm gonna try to see the one. Yeah, here's his response to it.
I didn't like what I was seeing, man. Okay, I saw parents brawling in front of a fucking school with kids. I just didn't fucking like it. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys can understand how that video would piss some people off. It pissed me off. Okay. Now, I mean, full transparency. You know, how do I put this? I'm gonna be very, very careful here. I don't want to piss anybody off. I'm making a lot of people mad. Wasn't my intention. I mean, listen, my wife and I just had a baby. Brand new father. You know, we seeing these kinds of videos. It's sad, you know. But her and I agree that we want to be the ones to talk to our kid about things like that. I'm trying to keep it really simple, just so we don't have to get too crazy about it, because there's nothing to get crazy about. It's just, it really is that simple. I think I just have a bigger perspective on this now, being a parent, than I did maybe 2 months ago.
Like, so this is also something that you'll hear a lot, not just in like this context, but in a lot of contexts. That being like, oh, once you become a parent, it puts everything in a new context. No, you're still an idiot. Like, you're very similar to the way you are. You might learn how to put on a fucking diaper, but that doesn't mean you'll understand like how to have tough conversations like this. And yeah, I'd rather have it be with like a school board that would at least try to make it more acceptable. At least a school board who would be able to like hopefully try to come up with something more acceptable than just some like random dude who obviously doesn't know shit about it.
You know, the video bothered me, right?
And also, again, he's just spreading the lie that these were like actual parents fighting against like pro-LGBT protesters. No, this was just a random group of people who had nothing to do with the school who heard about this vote and decided to go and protest it. That's it. They're just random people who just hate gay people. They're not the parents. It's what the right will try to spin the story into, but it's not the facts. The facts are that most parents from that school were on the pro-LGBT side, and the anti-LGBT side were just a bunch of people who did not even who weren't even living in Glennsdale. They came from other places in California or even outside of California, and even one of them, I believe, was there in January 6th. It's full of people who just hate gay people, and that's it.
And that's I just don't think it's any place for a teacher or a school. I don't think it's the place to speak about things like that.
Okay, then sex education shouldn't be a thing. Then most things shouldn't be a thing. Hell, talking about World War II shouldn't be a thing then, I guess. If it's this hard to comprehend that gay people and trans people exist, then why should we be talking about kids about murder and war? If it's that hard, then why should we even be talking about other stuff like that anyways? If you can't handle the fact that there are different people who are attracted to different things that aren't similar to you, or similar to the normalization that we have come to as a society as a norm of what you can be attracted to, or who you can be as a person, then why should we trust kids to talk about war or to talk about anything? It's just dumb. This should be common sense, but idiots like this guy make it harder than it needs to be because they don't understand, but they talk like they do.
I think that it shouldn't be spoken about. If that's what you got from that tweet, then you're just wrong. I don't have any quarrel with anybody.
Oh yeah, because that's what he meant when it's leave the children alone. He definitely wasn't gaslighting into making people think that if you're for just allowing gay people and trans people to be talked about in a school to help normalize that situation for people who are demonized by the public anyways, then That's just wrong. Even though it typically is a phrase used to gaslight people into thinking that, gay people and trans people are groomers. That wasn't his intentions, though. That's not his intentions. Whatever. Anyways, he had a lot of quite a bit of defenders. As you could see, like probably during that chat clip, there were a lot of like W's, shit like that. Usually, if you go to like any comment section, there will be like a bunch of blue check marks who would just be like agreeing with that. Of course, as we see a lot now today, there's just a bunch of fucking blue check marks that just agree with anything that's like anti-gay, anti-black, and anti-trans. But NickMercs got a lot of support from the from just a slew of irrelevant, like guys who shouldn't even be commenting on this whole thing, such as Dr. Disrespect, who has uninstalled Call of Duty for NickMercs because after this whole thing, Call of Duty took down NickMercs' bundle. He had like a skin on there. I don't play Call of Duty. Again, I don't really give that much of a shit about this whole Call of Duty thing. But Dr. Disrespect, someone who I had so much respect for. I know Hassan talked about him. Oh, here we go. Here's a clip.
Yes, he's more loyal to NickMercs having his skin than his own wife. I know. Yes, he's more loyal to that. He's also more loyal to Shungite, really, bro. Up the Shungite. You know what I mean? Just add a little bit more Shungite to that diet. Put it around La Casa. Okay, little pyramids, that sort of thing. I feel like we don't have enough.
Like, this guy gives more of a shit. Like, again, I don't know the full situation with him and his wife, but, like, it does seem like he gives more of a shit about NickMercs having, like, his own stupid little skin on Call of Duty than he does his own wife. Like, that's pretty funny. Then we have Tim the Tatman here.
So I'm gonna just say this at the front, man. I love Nick. I talked to him for about 30 minutes last night. I know him, bro. And I truly do not think he meant to hurt anyone. It really, all I can say is this, man. Tatman Army, I love y'all.
Yeah, it's just him sticking up for him. And then and then he, like, I think he asked for Call of Duty to remove his skin, which they did. It's like, who cares? Like, they got him off the game. I don't care about, like, the Call of Duty skin stuff. It's just, pieces of shit supporting other pieces of shit. And that's really it. It's just a dumb guy who shouldn't have even spoken up about this since he obviously knows nothing about it.